said, you're going to have to actually put a hat on and say, okay, right now I'm manager. This is my manager hat. And now I'm creative. You take that hat off and you put on the creative hat, and then you begin to play your music or write your lyrics or whatever. So the next couple of paragraphs start explaining that rarely, and I'm talking rarely, does one person have the ability to be creative and business. It's very rare. Usually the creative person does not have the skills. You know, right brain, left brain is with the controversy I'm talking about right now. Usually a creative person does not have the skills to be business, and that's a real problem. That's why most of them go bankrupt, if they don't get a good team around them, which is a problem. So if you're the creative type, is first, you're probably not going to be able to afford somebody. So you're going to have to do all these things yourself. I suggest that you find one place in your living space that is your creative space. And maybe it's the colors of the room that make you particularly creative, or candles that you burn, or whatever it is that makes that space creative. And then someplace totally different is your business space. And usually that's more desk-oriented, like you have an actual desk and a computer. And don't mix the two. When you mix the two, what happens is you're not efficient. So you actually have a physical change of place. And it's recommended that this isn't done in your bed. Don't do business in your bed. Don't. That sounds bad.
Don't you get me personal with this?
Don't do your business in your bed. But of course, with a laptop, you can't, you know, you're so tempted. You're like, I want to go get another cover for my laptop. But it's really bad to mix business and creativity. So separate them in your house, however you can do it. And it doesn't matter if it's one end of the couch and the other, if you live in a small place, whatever it is, so that when you sit in that business space, you think, I'm a business person right now. What would a business person do? And then when you're in the creative world, you can forget walls. There's actually companies that do this. They have a section for their creative people that have no square corners. They have just round rooms, and they use particular colors because it makes you more creative on that side. And then all of their lawyers and accountants and whatnot are on the other side. They even pump smells in, like peppermint smells and lemon smells, because we're environed, animals is basically what we are. Your environment affects you. So that's what this page is really talking about is, when you start to get creative, don't try to think business. And when you get creative, be as creative as you can be. There's a young man that I've worked with in Houston who was trying to think of ways to promote his record label. And he said, what if I get in a high-speed chase with the cops? And I put the name of my record label on the top of my car. And as I drive down the freeway and the helicopters come over and say, look at this, speeding car, and it's a cop chase and everything, my record label will be all over the news. And I said, that's brilliant, but it's also criminal. It's criminal activity. And he said, but I'll hire a homeless person to drive my car. Oh. I swear to God he said this. And I said, okay. Now I see what you're doing. So he got really creative. And I said, okay, that's awesome. It's really a great idea. The other one he came up with was going downtown Houston to one of those high-rises, buildings that have a loft or a balcony, and throwing a body, like a fake body, like a mannequin of like rubber, off the side of the building with a bunch of flyers in his hands, like this, little flyers that say your company name, throwing them off down into the city. So everybody would be like, this person just jumped off this building. When they come over there, it would be a promotional stunt for his company. And I said, great idea, but it's also criminal because there's trespassing involved, and who knows what it's throwing something off a building. Littering. There's probably a ton of laws he broke. So think huge. I mean, those are great ideas. It's just criminal. We can't do it.
What if you have a
record label?
Just make a good product, a good song.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, he wanted to try to make a splash, a media splash with no money. And so we were trying to